What's up, y'all? Derek Johnson here. Yeah, I know I don't go live or do a lot of videos on TikTok. I just have so many social media platforms that I attend to. Plus, I have so many videos that I do in a day on podcasts and things of that nature. But so it's not to neglect anybody on TikTok. But, right now it's just one of those times where it's time to just cowgirl up. I mean, it matters. And I'm the one who coined this. I mean, let's just be honest here. I have two #1 bestsellers, Part 1, Part 2 series called The Midnight Rider Rides Again, Part 1, Part 2, that are, it's that right there. This whole thing is an operation. The whole thing. And too many people are trying to separate this, and this, when the law shows otherwise. Everybody wants a method to the madness, but no one wants to go read the method and study the method and comprehend the method. And that's where most people are failing. And that's where most people, just get in the comment box, want to have your opinion, you want to have your say-so, you want to have your 2 bits and all these other things, but you don't want to read and study and comprehend what Boss Man's working with. All right, he's not working on fairy dust and farts and all these other things, propaganda, drama. He damn sure ain't listening to all these quote-unquote influencers out there who don't have a clue what's going on lawfully and doesn't care. As like he said just a couple of days ago on his post, you're a weakling. If you are hung up on Epstein, if you're hung up on that, you have a problem. All right, because you're not looking at the bigger picture. There's a massive bigger picture, but law shows the bigger picture. Now, from 2016 back, there were laws and orders, most definitely, but they weren't enforced. But that still doesn't mean you don't read laws and orders, comprehend laws and orders, because there's a new sheriff in town. And the laws and orders are most definitely being enforced. And there's visuals every day, all day of that. We're at a place now, I've forgotten more about this stuff than most people know. I could sit here and go over 2017 to 2021, break down all the things. All right, it was the resetting of the legislative branch. 2021 to 2025 was a resetting of the executive branch. And what you're going through right now is a resetting of the judicial branch. And laws show this. And there's so many variables in between that as well that show that. There's no coincidences when you put all these things together that my books have done. But also, if you can't afford the books, hey, I do this all day, every day. I post and I show you all. I don't hansel and get, like throw crumbs and all this other stuff. You can go to my pages and see all the work. And most people are still going over to all these other quote-unquote influencers because it's a little bitty tiny spiel they do. And most of it is an opinion. Opinions and perspectives. If it don't have a solution, which are laws and orders, it's just a bunch of hot air. And too many opinions and too many moving lips are what's wrong with this right now. The other thing that people do is they forget about this. They stop focusing on negative and Debbie Downers, but also there's a few veterans out there that don't know what's going on. But it don't matter if you're a general, which it's rare that a general wouldn't. But if you're like a colonel, lieutenant colonel, or a low-level captain, or whatever it is, if you were somewhere in there, and if you don't know the laws and orders currently in votes right now, and then also seeing the application of those, meaning they're being enforced, and seeing the visuals of those, you could be any kind of highly decorated veteran. And if you don't know what's currently in votes right now, you can look lost just as the lowest level lost person out there. So a lot of people follow entitlements and positions and ranks and all these other things, accolades and all these things, that because someone posts their resume up and all this stuff. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how long their resume is. It doesn't matter what their accolades look like. If they don't know what's in current laws and orders, currently in vote, but also be able to see the visuals of those, it doesn't matter. So if you want to know what's going on, again, I'm the only person out there that's taking the full blueprint, and I can do it in 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever time slots I have. But on here, you get 10 minutes, and 10 minutes ain't enough to do anything. Now, I can go live and do things like that, but if people aren't listening and they just want to fill the comment box, that don't help either. You know, if I were in this for algorithms and clickbait and all that other stuff, I would post all day, every day, and I'd come on here and I'd do post all the time. I'm not. I'm a retired veteran showing everybody what's going on via .gov and .mil sites. I show you all the receipts. All the receipts. I'm also doing that in country music, but that's a genre in an area that nobody wants to listen to right now. Nobody cares. And it's tied in just as much as the deep state was with DC. Country music has the same kind of swamp, and nobody wants to listen. So see, Americans have a listening problem, and then a short attention span and an education problem. Everybody wants a solution, but they don't want to look at the solutions that are currently in place, and they're being invoked, and they're being enforced, and they're being upheld, and it's to the T. This man right here has done everything to the standard. But it's not just him. He put his brand on this. The outsider who was never a politician, he put his name, face, brand, family, everything on this. This, though, right here is generals, world leaders, and leaders. And as long as law shows we're in a continuity government, we're still in a continuity government. We're in a partial continuity government. But as long as law shows we're in a continuity government, then that means we're in a military occupation. All right, because a continuity government means the government is not in its normal capacity. And when that happens, we have pure proof evidence via the military that the military is in charge. All right. Again, do you want a method to the madness, or you want to keep following all these lips moving out there? There are thousands and thousands and thousands. That's the pitfalls to social media. It's good when it's good, it's bad when it's bad. And there are too many names, too many faces, trying to be a name, trying to be a face. No, I just want to be a part of this. If you don't know what the commander's working with, you're only hurting yourself. All right? And the old saying, cream always rises to the top. Well, I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm braggadocious or whatever it is. But, again, most veterans are that do know what's going on. Most veterans are. And that's why a lot of veterans that do know what's going on, they don't want a name and a face, because they wouldn't be able to handle some of the stupidity and the ignorant comments. They could handle it all right, but it wouldn't be the way that those people wanted to hear it, because they'd be a lot more colorful than I've been. And I already say the word stupid and ignorant too much. But when people display it, sometimes the best method is to say, well, this is what you look like, and until you read, study, and comprehend, this is what you look like. Because I can assure you, there ain't nobody who's read and studied and know what I know as much as I know, and as much as I've read and as much as I've studied. I mean, one National Defense Authorization Act alone is anywhere from 700 to 1,500 pages. That's just one. That's not all your military publications. That's not all your laws, your executive orders, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I've done the homework, and that's why my books are number one with the people who want to know, because they made them number one, but also the homework's already done. It's a chronological order of all the laws and orders. So the homework's already done. So there's that. So, Iran, been planned. Israel, been planned. Those go back, way back in NDAA's defense budgets and also military publications. The Epstein thing is an iceberg, tip of the iceberg to what's going to lead into Obama, Bush, Clinton. And so many people are looking atrocious right now because everybody has a short attention span, and then most people love drama and quote-unquote reality TV. And if you think you voted for President Trump just for the Epstein things, you're a selfish person. You're a very selfish person. There's a lot more names out there you've never heard of that have been trafficking for years. So where have you been? So I highly recommend you find it on my other pages. Linktree, linktr.ee/1776nation, DarrellJohnsonCountry.com, Rattletrap1776.com, and go find my pages and follow me there to get bigger, more information.